Greetings and salutations, people of the internet. Welcome to another episode of Telia Misfits. Hopefully, with 100% less TPK than the other unfortunate campaigns. Yes, I am joined by four of my wonderful friends. Yes, also emotes. There's emotes. There's emotes. Just check the emotes. The emotes are cool. Apparently, yeah, I love them. Anyway, I'm joined with four of my wonderful friends. One of which will be joining us soon enough. Has some family things to deal with. Anyway, first of all, we have Savian, who muted himself because we're not gonna be involving his character for the first part of the stream. We also have Sarcastrophe, whose name I can now pronounce without any issues.
You can pronounce it when he's not here.
Yes.
As soon as he gets
Yeah. Listen,
practiced.
I practiced. So yeah. So we have Sarcastrophe. We also have Mr. Raining Blades and Oshio.
Hello.
Yes. Now, as has become customary in all my D&D campaigns, because you started the trend and passed it on to the other campaign. One of the players will do a recap of last session through the eyes of their own character, and this time it will be the wonderful Oni wizard Damir. Take it away, buddy.
Yes, quite. Thank you for that introduction. So, last time we had, well, quite certainly, I think most of us were afraid we were going to die when we were suddenly thrust into an encounter with this ghostly cloak and dagger, in quite the literal sense, despite not having rested beforehand. But thankfully, through the aid of our various magic and perhaps some good luck, we were able to defeat our mysterious foe, and in the process, successfully retrieve the dagger and stop the apparent poisoning of the mushroom cave that we had been sent to investigate in the cistern. The source of these drugs that were being circulated by the Rotten Kings, a band led by their rat-like leader known as Sketch. While down there, before we left, we were able to find the apothecary, Gessel, who had been kidnapped by the Rotten Kings in order to make this drug for them, and we were able to successfully escort him out of the cistern and rendezvous with the guard and the sheriff. We received our money for our job well done, as well as a little bit of well, I might say, let's be honest, it was a bit of a bribery to not tell the various townsfolk about this creature we had discovered in the cistern, something that Callaghan didn't really feel particularly happy about, and to be quite honest, not myself either, but I tend to defer to authority anyways. Over the next week or so, we decided to stay in town under the sheriff's strong suggestion that we not go anywhere. And that continued a bit of a rotten luck streak for us. So many of us attempted to do some research on various things, such as the whereabouts of Sketch, who had escaped our grasps, or perhaps some of the creatures we found down in the cistern, or the dagger we had retrieved. All of us failed miserably, of course, except for Kyoho, who was the one person who chose not to do some research and instead hunt, and was quite successful in that regard. Unfortunately, tragedy soon struck when one day while we were all gathered in the marketplace, a nearby cart suddenly exploded in an acidy explosion, eroding most of the people caught in the blast and killing them slowly and painfully. Most of us actually ended up almost dying ourselves, except thankfully our party cleric, Callaghan, was able to shrug off most of the impact and then lay out his healing magic to the rest of us to bring us back to our feet. We then began investigating the area as well as assisting all of those around and discovered numerous of quite interesting things. For starters, this attack seemed to be done by Sketch, who had left a hanging guard hanging from a noose dead with a note stabbed through the chest. basically demanding that Gessel, the apothecary, be returned to him so that he could continue making drugs, or else there'd be more attacks. We also determined that there was a recent wizard who was kidnapped from the city, an apprentice known as Dina, who just went vanishing, was seemingly kidnapped from her home, and her master was someone I'm actually somewhat familiar with, the great abjuration wizard known as Abjurer Arthur Bane. So, with all these various leads, we decided to split up and divide the load between the four of us. So, Imris and I are now off to see Abjurer Arthur Bane to determine what he may know about his apprentice going missing, or what else might have happened with this spell Labacity Explosion, which, to be quite frank, is only capable of a rather skilled abjurationist. Meanwhile, Kyoho and Callaghan are off to investigate the actual scene of the crime, so to speak, to see if they can figure out where Dina might have been dragged off to, assuming, of course, she was actually kidnapped, did not join the Rotten Kings willingly.
Wonderfully done. As expected of a wizard to have a picture-perfect memory of the events. Now...
That's because I write notes.
Yes, of course. Well, as expected of the nerd of the group, to write the notes. Very proud of you. Very proud of you. Now, we resume our adventure as the party has indeed split up. While the other two are heading towards Dina's abode, we focus on the ones heading towards Abjurer Arthur Bane's home in Hightown to ask about the spell used on the apprentice. In the meantime, the party trusts that the City Watch will conduct their own investigation as well. Let us hope to see how that works out. Now, to start with, we shall follow as the human supposed warlock, Emeris, and the abjuration wizard Damir, as you walk across the Sun Road into Hightown. You do start to see that the city is in a bit of an uproar. Many people seem to be talking about the terrorist attack, news having spread like wildfire. You see mothers calling their children inside. You see men discussing what they would do to the culprits. But you do sense a general atmosphere of fear and fury. After asking around for a little bit about the location of the abjurer's home, you are directed to a mansion near the southern part of town, close to the top of the hill in which the Hightown is built on. As you get there, you see a 3-story building, with intricate designs reminiscent of dwarven construction. It's rather bulky, very square, but it does still have golden, or at least gold-plated inlays and several angular patterns that the dwarves like to use. The gates before you are thick, black, and seem to be sturdy enough to withstand even a battering ram for quite a bit. They are closed, and the moment you get close to it, you do see a faint light start to emanate from the gate. You also hear a voice that speaks, "Speak your purpose." That seems to come from the gate itself.
We have come to, in an attempt to discover the truth regarding an apprentice's kidnapping from this place.
Yes, what she said.
All right. There is a moment of pause. And you just hear, denied.
Beg your pardon?
Then you hear once again, speak your purpose. Exactly the same tone, the same voice, same intonation, no change.
We have come as fellow wizards, fellow magic users, to speak with Arcanist. Hang on, let me just check his name. Sorry. To check with Arcanist Arthur Dane.
What she said.
There is another moment, and the voice comes once again, denied.
What the hell is wrong with this thing?
Speak your purpose.
Should we try turning it off and back on again?
I don't know if we know how to turn it off. I have.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, is Emrys like aware of what this contraption might be?
You might want to roll an arcana check. Both of you can do it.
Yeah.
A 9.
Mm-hmm.
One second.
No rush, no rush. Apparently, Emrys knows all. Pretty sure they will say this as we've come to understand.
Just say an Arcana check, right?
Yes, please. All right. Emrys,
Mm-hmm.
you have no idea what the hell is going on. This is either very powerful magic or not magic at all. But, Adamir, you understand that this is a combination of some abjuration magic. Seems to be focused on the gate being closed and controlled. But also the voice speaking is very akin to the magic mouth spell, which allows someone to inscribe some verbal message into an area, in combination with some kind of divination magic that allows one to hear to the other side. Yes.
So
it is a very magical device for what we use nowadays.
So it seems that this is sort of many things going on here. There seems to be a bit of a magic mouth spell going on of sorts that basically allows the relaying of a message, and there's no doubt probably some divination at hand as well, so it can actually be observed here at the gate. So not entirely sure it's just some magical artifact itself, just someone who's laid spells upon the gate and is observing us from afar.
Yes, of course, exactly. My thoughts.
I'm sure you knew that already. I just
yes.
like explaining things.
State your purpose.
It appears to be repeating itself. Perhaps if we can find the right answer in order to gain entry, we will be able to speak with Arthur Dane. But what might it be that we could tell this strange guard to let us through?
Denied. State your purpose.
We you see, we are here looking for the apprentice Dina, who is apprentice to the great wizard Arthur Bane.
Denied. State your purpose.
Entirely
We
sure what
wish to purchase services from Arcanist Arthur Day.
The gate suddenly, the glow fades, and you see the gate unlock and start to open.
Emrys looks very smug.
And then you
Oh.
hear another message that says, "Enter! Wait in the foyer."
Emrys walks inside, kind of looks to Demir to see if he's doing the same.
I follow.
All right. You start to go inside into the mansion, and you do see the large doors into the building itself are open. You enter this very well furnished entrance hall, and as you wait for a few moments, you see a silver tray floating over towards you, carrying 2 glasses of water and 2 glasses of wine.
Emrys takes a glass of water, just kind of nods in thanks. Ah, yes, invisible servants. Very refined.
Right, so. And Demir doesn't take anything. He just
Okay.
he's back.
The tray just floats there for a little bit, and then it starts to float away very gently. You wait for a few more moments, and Emrys, the longer you wait, just standing there, the longer you're reminded of something Albion used to do, which was whenever he had guests that he felt superior to, he made them wait for as long as he wished. It was a show of power and position.
Yes, I believe I may be familiar with this this tactic being used currently. Arthur may be having us wait to show that we are at his mercy, so to speak.
Although I'm sure he's just had a lot of Alan is perhaps just preoccupied.
That may be the case, indeed.
You wait for what feels like about 10 minutes, standing there. And then you hear a voice coming from above. Ah, yes. And when you look up, you see a very well-dressed man. He seems more like a nobleman than what you would think a wizard dresses. You know, just having a look at Damir, the robe-wearing wizard. This man looks very fancily dressed. He has a coat and a vest and some wonderful leggings and several chains around his neck and several rings on each finger, showing off quite a bit of wealth. And you see, he seems to be in his early 50s, long black hair, very black hair, tied back, piercing blue eyes, and a very clean-shaven face. Rather handsome indeed. He looks at you for a moment and says, "Oh, I couldn't help to hear the conversation you were having between all the talk about investigations and services. Now, I welcomed you inside more of curiosity than believing your services, request for services, but either way, welcome to my humble abode. Please join me in the..." And he looks around her. "Ah, yes, the study seems appropriate." And he claps his hands, and you see the door opens to your right, revealing this large room. Seems to be bigger than most peasants' houses. Inside, from that position, you clearly see several bookshelves stacked with books, some of them even on top of other books. You also see a fireplace, a large window, and three large comfy chairs that seem to be pushed in front of the fireplace. You look up again to the top of the stairs where Arthur is, and you don't see him anymore, but you do hear his footsteps down the stairs. He seems to have teleported somehow. A short distance, but just so he doesn't have to walk down the stairs. And he just continues to walk. He sits down and waits for you to sit down. Do you sit down?
Yeah, Emrys follows him into the study, sits down, just kind of nods politely, like somewhat familiar with how to kind of deal with these uppity wizards.
Mm-hmm.
Just like we very much appreciate your how accommodating you have been. I am Emrys. I am apprentice to Albion, and I am honored to meet you after hearing stories from my master of the great arcanist Arthur Dane.
You see immediately his rather neutral and a bit smug expression changes into a wide grin as he leans forward. Albion, you say? Well,
Indeed.
why didn't you say that sooner? Sit down, sit down. And turns to the Oni and looks at him.
Yes, this is my companion Demir. Demir, you may sit down.
So, and Mir just sits down a bit. I'm assuming the chair is probably not that big, or is it like
It's actually
really large?
it's large for a human, so it fits your size and it's quite big for Emrys. Emrys actually has to
Actually very comfortable.
dangle their legs while sitting down. You see, well, no, this changes everything. I was about to ask you to impress me because my time is precious. But seeing as you are one of Albion's, that indeed does change things. And he turns around. Bring us some wine. And you see a glass of wine start to float in his direction, and then another two towards you. Would you like to partake? The finest vintage.
I very much appreciate the offer, but I do not drink.
Ah, yes, of course. He turns to the Oni. I hear the Oni like their drink.
Quite so. And Demir reaches out to grab the glass in his beefy fingers.
All right.
The utmost diligence and care.
yes, of course. Just the tiniest of touches, like at the tip of the fingers. Yes, you just see this massive Oni with the smallest cup that, like, I don't know, like a sippy cup to him. Just very.
Demir also sticks his pinky out as he drinks.
Of course he does. All right. The Anu's glass seems to vanish into thin air. And he goes, very well. Now that we are acquainted, I assume you know who I am since you've came to search me. Now, you said something about Dina. Is that correct?
Yes, indeed, though our problem is a little more complicated. I'm unsure if you're aware. Have you heard of the very unfortunate attack that took place in town earlier today?
My dear
Or
Emeris,
yesterday, I can't remember if it's Christ.
my dear Emeris, there is little in this. There is little that happens in this town that I am not aware of. Yes.
As expected of a master arcanist.
He just gives you a nod as Of course.
So then I shall help to inform you of our views on this matter, for we were unfortunate enough not only to be caught up in this attack, but we believe we have an idea of the one responsible. And this one responsible we have had a previous encounter with, but we seek any clues we can find in order to track him down, because of course something must be done. Now, we have heard that your apprentice was, of course, these details are merely rumors. So, if you could enlighten us, then that would be much appreciated. But we have heard that a unfortunate fate befell your apprentice, and we believe it may be related to the individual who instigated this attack. Of course, mere rumors. So, if you have any information on this matter that precedes this.
Well, you see him take a sip of his wine and then he goes to put it down as if he has a table next to him, and then the glass just floats there in place. Crosses his legs. Ah, well, Dina, the poor soul. She is no longer my apprentice. She has yet to be my apprentice for, I believe, a month now.
I see. May I ask the circumstances behind this?
Ah, yes. Well, let's just say she was not born with the proper blood to have what you would call the potential, and I believe she couldn't take it. She asked me to excuse her from the apprenticeship, and of course I would not force anyone to stay. If she could not hack it, as they say in the Seven Rocks, well, I suppose that was that. It was, admittedly, my fault for not predicting that someone with such, let's just say, low-born birth would surpass my expectations. It is my fault for having any expectations.
I see. Then this Dina, she Demir, when were we told that she had gone missing?
Quite remember that. I'm not sure. I don't think it was too terribly long ago.
2 days ago.
More than a week, 2 days. I think it was just only a couple days.
I see. So at this point, she was no longer your apprentice. That would explain, of course, why how she was so easily taken. We did think it very strange that a master of Jura could have something taken under his nose.
Master of Juror, Dina.
No, no,
Well,
no, of yours, of yours.
of course not. Any such hooligans and thieves that try to approach my abode will be met with the defenses far past their capabilities.
Precisely. This is why we had to come to you, of course, in order to see what we could clarify about these rumors, because, of course, they seem strange. But now we have learned that she was no longer your apprentice at this time.
Ah, yes, of course. She, uh, she was a difficult one, stubborn and unruly. It does not surprise me that she might be involved in this.
Yes. So, under these circumstances, um, we we are very thankful to have learned more about what we came for, but the matter at hand behind our visit, in order to seek out this individual responsible for the attack, this Sketch, if you are aware of him.
Yes. Rotten
He,
Kings, was it?
indeed. Perhaps, although, of course, at this point you may not, we may not be able to learn anything more, but we may, with your help, I wonder, be able to do something to perhaps either track Dino or trap Sketch. Of course, merely an idea. I do not know your exact specialities.
Well, my exact specialities deal with the School of Abjuration. If you worked as an apprentice to Albion, I suppose you would know what that means.
I'm very aware, yes.
It gives you this inquisitive look, as if he's trying to read you for a moment.
You would be adept at protecting things, rather. In order to search for something, of course, would be divination.
Indeed. That's not to say I don't know my own way around the other schools. What wizard would focus entirely on a single school?
And precisely why I asked.
Well, I do admit I've been. I've looked into Dina's location. Not terribly recent, but ever since the theft that, well, occurred a while ago, I suspected that she might have been involved. She
The
would
theft?
be involved. Ah. See, he catches himself for a moment, as if probably didn't want to mention it, but just he can't shut his mouth. And he like adjusts his vest for a moment. Indeed, not under my protection, not one of my belongings, but
Of course not.
yes, but well, let's just say, after Dina was excused from her apprenticeship, I sent a series of scrolls with my spells to a nobleman, a colleague, if you will, outside of the city. But apparently, the carriage was attacked by ruffians and stolen. It was a coordinated attack. It was indeed suspicious, so I of course assumed Dina, who knew about the scrolls I had been preparing, I assumed she was involved. I searched for her, but unfortunately I do admit to lack the proper divination spells to pinpoint her exact location and to divine the truth of her involvement. But let's be honest, I've always thought her intentions for the apprenticeship were more directed towards snooping around and figuring out what she might be able to ascertain from my wonderful mansion, more than to learn my gifts and research.
That is very unfortunate, and perhaps even more reason that we best do what we can in order to discover where Sketch is and where your apprentice is for the attack on the town that occurred earlier today. It was the result of a abjuration magic. So these stolen scrolls, I do wonder whether they have been put to use by these ruffians in a very unsavory manner.
Indeed, well, from what I gather, the glyph of warding was the spell used. Correct?
Indeed.
That is
Yes.
correct.
Yes, unfortunately, the scroll case that was stolen contained 7 such scrolls.
Oh my.
7. I see.
Indeed.
That does provide some insight, for it does mean that at the very least, if we do not find Sketch, there will be 6 more attacks. At least using those scrolls, though of course I hope that we can prevent before even one more
Well,
does.
Dina, if she is involved, which does not surprise me, if she is involved, I doubt that she is able to fully utilize all of the scrolls. It does take some mastery to use a scroll of magic far beyond your normal capabilities. But, well, apparently it was used, and effectively at least once. I would be careful if I were you.
Of course. Now then, so back to the earlier question. So do you possess any? You attempted to discern the location of Dina, of course. You mentioned that you could only ascertain a vague approximation, or would it be of anything of use, or is it too general in order to
It
assist in
is
this hunt?
unfortunately too general indeed. I tracked her location to the 7 rocks, but as you would know, I would not be caught dead in such a location.
The 7 rocks, I see. And when was this?
Ah, yes, this was, I would say, about 3 weeks ago. A week after the robbery,
I see.
and well, I would give you a warning. There is this Nacian fellow, uh, who appears to be connected to her. After I entered the apprenticeship, she must have complained to what I assume to be her lover, and he quite angrily came at me with a cleaver. Nothing I couldn't handle, of course, but, well, I would watch out for him. He seemed quite angry.
This fellow, perhaps you could provide us a description. If we can track him down, we may be able to use him in order to track Dina down.
Yes, of course. First of all, I want both of you to roll history checks about the Nathian term.
Oh, not bad. Emrys knows her stuff.
History, yeah.
So slow.
All right. It does make sense that the Oni would not know this because a Nacian is a person that comes from Nasir. It is one of the kingdoms from Kalios, the old continent. Um, a lot of the people that come from here have come from the same culture. Um, all of them seem to have the same culture as in Walgate. Nacian, they are completely different culture, so to speak. They are more generally more. They assume themselves as more refined than others, and they do focus a little bit on. They are known for their arts and the embellished and posh lifestyle that their noblemen have. Um, but this. Oh, yes, they also have a bit darker, more tan skin. They generally are from a more southern uh, country, and it does match as Arthur begins to explain it. Well, as Nacian, he does have this darker complexion, big beard, bald head, ugly fellow. He is big, though. He seems to be not as big as your companion here, uh, Damir, yes, but he is quite a rough man. When he came to me, he had a butcher's cleaver in his hand. It was quite garish. Of course, I dispatched of him with but a little spell, a cantrip.
Quite an unusual choice of weapon for a Nacian,
Ah, yes, of course. Well, one.
though I suppose it's unusual for a Nacian to have anything to do with someone who is hanging around Seven Rocks. So,
What can one tell from these immigrants? I honestly know that quite a few Nathians. He did not seem, aside from the accent, possibly, and the skin, he acted too brutish for Nacian. Then again, a lot of the peasantry there lack the charm of the nobility.
indeed. So, we thank you for this information. We may be able to use this lead in order to discover what has become of your former apprentice, and hopefully as well what has but or where Sketch is, so that we may stop this threat on the city.
Yes, of course, of course. But if you do happen to come across the scrolls, now that will be of interest. I may reward you for such a find.
Why, of course, we would be more than happy to return what belongs to you, or what was being traded by you, to its rightful owner.
Ah, yes. Yes, yes, yes. Well, I would be careful, though. If these scrolls are put to even half the good use well, let's say Dina would be capable of, I predict there would be quite a catastrophe. Imagine 3 more of those explosions in Hightown.
Yes, we have, as we have said, we have experienced one of those personally, so we are more than aware of the danger of those scrolls, and that is precisely why it is important for them to be returned to one who is much more capable of handling them.
Of course, I created them after all. Now, any other business that you have with me?
Not immediate, no, though, Demir, since we are here, although I have been the one to introduce myself personally and talk, Demir, despite his appearance as an Oni, he is in fact a distinguished wizard himself. So, if there's
Really?
he is. It is quite remarkable.
Yes, that is true. Yes, yes.
So, Demir, if there is anything you would request or require, information, knowledge, I believe this would be a perfect time to ask.
Yes, that's a good point, Timris. Well, to be quite frank, there's nothing too much that comes to mind, though I do have to say, while this lies most probably outside of your own expertise, when the way we got involved with Sketch and the Rotten Kings in the first place is we were sent to investigate them on behalf of the city guard, and we've seemed to have discovered that the Sketch and some of the other members of his gang seem to have been corrupted or changed at some point. They've became these rat-like creatures that seem to have very hardy skin or fur, I guess you could say, that seem to be impervious to non-magical means of damage. I tried this past week looking up to figure out exactly any sort of leads or any occurrences of this happening before, of something similar, though to no avail. Is it possible, although it might not necessarily be your expertise, of course, if you've ever heard of something like this, where someone is actually being changed by, it seemed to be some sort of combination between the black liquid and some mushrooms that cause them to basically become, well, rat people?
He leans back, puts his hands on his crossed legs on his knee, and peculiar, quite peculiar. You say they become rat people with impervious skin, is that it?
Yeah. So there were various sizes. Sketch himself, I don't know what he was like beforehand, but he was a very large rat person and seemingly was able to escape through some much smaller cracks in his hideout, as if he was almost able to just squeeze through them like any other rat. And while we were able to use magic to take care of the other rat-like creatures we come across, any sort of blunt or blade attacks of sorts, or common means of combat, were completely ineffectual based on what we could tell. We couldn't even so much as cut out a sample of their skin to do further research on. It just was impervious to traditional means of damage.
Interesting. Well, there are many things that might alter a person's condition and form and give them powers of sometimes dark powers. It is a little difficult to, with just the information you've given me. You say a black liquid was involved?
So there was a dagger that would actually been stabbed into what I've come to understand was a statue of a goddess. That then, from the dagger and from the wound, this black liquid seemed to seep out and into a cave of mushrooms, which were then the liquid pooled together and perhaps corrupted the mushrooms even further past their typical poisonous aspects. And from what I could gather, the actual refinement of these mushrooms into this drug that the Rotten Kings have been circulating until recently, that itself didn't seem to have effect on people. But when Sketch and the others ate these mushrooms directly, that's when it seems to apparently have caused this change.
Do you happen to have this dagger in question?
Does Emrys have the dagger? I can't remember who took it. If I do have it.
You were doing the research on it, so you would probably
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Emrys kind of reaches into their pack, pulls out the dagger, kind of carefully hands it over.
Alright. He takes the dagger, and actually, before that, he takes out a piece of cloth and picks up the dagger with the cloth, so as to not touch it directly. And
Oh yeah, I'm pretty sure Emrys was also not trying to touch it directly.
all right, yes,
When I first picked up, I said that, but I forgot.
yeah,
to say
yeah,
this.
yeah. So he does that, and he leans back and looks upon it. Excuse me a moment, and he snaps his fingers, and you do see, coming from the door after a few moments, a pearl that floats towards him, and he picks up the pearl and starts to cast a spell.
Demir talks to Marissa. See, yes, that's what I was missing.
I see.
He casts the spell and goes, "Ah, yes, I see. Ah, interesting." And then he starts to turn the dagger. Quite interesting. Yes.
I was able to read the lay on it, but it didn't seem to get a general rough idea of what sort of magic might be transcribed upon it, but did not have the means or items in this case capable of discerning its exact property.
And only that speaks lay. Now that is quite adorable. Excuse me. Excuse me. Interesting, I would say. He goes back to reading it himself.
Mir grows a shade of red, except you can't tell because he already is red.
Yes. Uh, ah, well, do you know what this symbol is? And he turns the dagger and points to one of the symbols on it. It is not. It is one of the symbols you could not really identify. Out of all of them, there were several symbols because magic isn't just the words. There's several symbols that are intrinsic to certain spells. But he does point to one of the symbols that seems to be a triangle with a half circle to one side.
Familiar with this particular symbol? No.
Of course you don't. Have you ever heard of the term, of the name Skitaker?
I heard of the term, the name.
As Emirates.
Both of you will now roll me either history or religion, whichever you have proficiency. Or,
History.
yes, whichever you have proficiency.
That's pretty good.
20. Nice.
Mine are the same. I'll take religion then.
Okay. Emeris. Well, let's go with the religion first. You've heard of this name, both of you. Damir, you've heard the name before. Actually not heard. You've read the name before during your studies while you were reading a book on the god of magic, but also on magic, the origins of magic itself. And it starts going into the kind of genealogy of certain gods. There is a demigod but that goes by the same name. And he is one of the sons of Kador, the old god of flame, treachery, power. And he goes by the demigod of vermin and those who crawl in the dark. It is quite a insidious figure that seems to dwell, or so they say, beneath the world. It is a corrupting force. As for Emeris, you know a little bit more detail that there are in fact several cults to this demigod. They are all very rat-based cults. The image in history of Skitaker is that he is indeed a humanoid rat, but about 10 feet, or some say 15, between 10 and 15 feet tall. Quite powerful, but also a creature that focuses more on subterfuge, sowing discontent, corruption, and just working in the shadows. Yes, this is about the information that you know. There are several cults that follow these creatures, but they are very secret and very hard to find because, like the rats that they worship, there's a lot of them, and they tend to scurry away when found.
I'm somewhat familiar with the name through my research and knowledge about its various gods of magic, and their genealogy.
Indeed. So, These are the workings of Skitaka then, perhaps related to one of his cults. I wonder, this dagger may have come from one of these cults. However, Sketch did not appear to be outwardly worshipping or aware of this, though it is no doubt that he has become corrupted by its influence.
Possibly. Well, for now, this dagger isn't really any threat anymore. It lost a lot of its power if you say it produced the black liquid. Now it is merely a poisonous dagger, and he presents it back to you. Safe to the touch, although dirty as it might be.
Thank you. Would you perhaps require any payment for this identifying service, or?
Just say that you were aided by Arthur whenever you are with Albion next.
Of course.
A good word is always great between companions and fellow scholars.
And in return, we shall do our utmost to return your scrolls to you.
Ah, yes. Of course, of course. That would be great help. Now, if you'll excuse me, I do have some reading to do.
Of course. And we have these important matters to take care of.
Indeed.
I hope that we shall soon return with the good news of this unpleasant threats vanquish and the return of your scrolls.
Good, good.
Everybody
You.
gets up, kind of gives a polite nod.
I assume Damir does the same.
His spell book for a second, and then in his notebook, and nods and says, "Thank you very much," and gets up and follows Imris.
You do see as you're leaving, he is playing with the pearl in his hands. Like it is moving by itself on his palm, but he's very absent-mindedly just looking at a book that is floating in his direction. You just want to point out. I'm just gonna say he did identify it for you. That dagger is currently a dagger of venom. It is a +1 dagger, so it has +1 to all damage and attack rolls. And once per day, you are able to activate the dagger as a bonus action. It will start to seep a poison, and the next attack that you do will deal an extra 2d10 poison damage. The poison lasts for 1 minute, but it disappears after one hit. But it deals a 2d10 poison damage if the creature fails a Constitution saving throw of 14. Just
Particularly nasty work there.
Oh, indeed. So you do now know what that does in general. But yes, you leave the mansion and the gates close behind you, and you are left to your own devices. What do you wish to do?
Sorry for being well. And then Demir kind of keeps walking, so they're kind of a bit out of away from the gate, and particularly Shining Eye. But once they are, he's like, "Sorry for being quiet. I'm just, well, you know, I'm not exactly the best at communicating myself, and I was also a little bit." And he looks back down towards his book, worried about what happened if he even inquired too much about me or my master. Like I said previously, they weren't on the best terms. So
this is why
everything seems to have gone at least pretty well, all things considered.
This is why that beforehand we had said that I would make sure to get us off on the right foot. Is that not so? And I believe it has worked. We have obtained the information we needed, although perhaps not as much as we would have liked, but enough to continue tracking down this apprentice and hopefully Sketch too.
Yes, it seems that As unfortunate as it may be, it seems that my initial fear might indeed be true. That perhaps Dina was not, in fact, kidnapped, but could possibly be doing
Indeed,
such things of her own volition.
she appears involved, though, with a individual as desperate as Sketch. I would also not doubt that even someone who appears somewhat less admirable as Dina, it may also be that even she could have been forced into it in a similar manner as the alchemist. But I suppose we shall find out when we attempt to speak with her. What was the name of the the guy that we were told to? I've forgotten now. Did we get a name?
What guy? What guy are you referring to?
Dina's like the
Oh, no, he Arthur didn't seem to know a name or care about a name, just that he was a Nacian guy.
Nation. Yes, perhaps we will find more when we track down this Nacian.
Yes, and it definitely seems like, well, we were not exactly we were lollygagging before, but especially if there's these various scrolls, including potentially up to 6 more of these scrolls for this particular spell, seems the utmost of haste is required, especially since once the scroll has been transcribed, it's a rather expensive spell. But should they already have the scroll at hand, then really all they need to do is have someone with the ability to cast it, so the person with the know-how, even someone who might not necessarily be able to cast such a spell to begin with. It's quite a unfortunate situation that needs resolving as quickly as possible. So hopefully, maybe perhaps Callaghan and Yoho have made some good ground on their end as well.
Indeed.
Mm-hmm. So where are you heading? Just to cap off this, your side of the quest.
I think we agreed to meet back at the inn.
Yeah, that was our plan. That rendezvous.
The soldier, yeah.
So yeah, so we'll be returning there.
All right, all right. Very well then. Now, I was kind of hoping that Sarcastrophe would have joined up by now.
Yeah. We appear to be missing Callaghan.
Yes, we appear to be missing Callahan. I'm just... Well, it is what it is. Seb, are you around?
No.
No. Okay. Being as stoic as your character.
Yeah, I've been here for a while, just listening on mute.
All right. So for now, I'm just gonna send a little message, but in the meantime, tell me. Well, I will be playing Callahan. I will not, and I refuse to try to do an Irish accent because that would be insulting. And I do not wish to insult my friends or a whole nation.
Not going to try to say Sarcastrophe in an Irish accent? Just double down?
No. So, actually, we can do this one of two ways. Either I play Callahan or one of you two plays Callahan. Any preferences?
I also cannot do an Irish accent, so
Nobody has to do an Irish. Nobody has to do an Irish accent. Just. All right. Okay.
I'd prefer not to play Callahan because then I'd be
RPing with yourself. No, you're not going to do
RPing
that.
with myself.
All right.
Oh, I should probably do something real quick. There we go. Now my character name shows up on stream.
Oh, yes, of course.
I noticed that Sarcastrophe did that, but the other two haven't.
Ooh.
So the person who's not here has got
You
that set
see?
up.
Yes, well, he is ahead of you even though he's not here. But well, let's just say I'll play Callahan as to the best of my abilities and without, you know, DMPCing this. So, we jump back in time. Several minutes because, Arthur likes to talk. Um, so we jump back in time to our fellow Ronin and Priest who are making their way to the Seven Rocks. You're already close to it, so you do arrive long before the others arrive in Arthur's home. You are looking for Dina's home. And once you enter the Seven Rocks proper, you immediately feel and know that this place is a dangerous one. It is a place where all eyes fall upon those who enter, and the feeling of being watched never leaves. Even now, after news of the attack spread here already, in such a short time, people seem more worried about the contents of your purse than the state of the city. Luckily, you are a very tall Oni woman with a sword on her hip, and a heavily armored man stands beside you, and let's just say it gives off the same aura as the people that are around here. So, for the most part, nobody really attacks you. Spyro, do you actually mean that? I'm waiting. I thought so. How brave of you. You would like, yeah, well,
I have heard of the track record of the other party.
what track record? I don't know what kind of track record.
I know exactly what track record the
I
other
don't,
party
I don't,
has.
I don't know what.
I don't have. I don't have a high enough subscriber tier to post the emote.
Ah, yes, I did it for you.
In their last session, I'm sure that's not gonna, happen again.
Yes. Anyway,
I'll just spam my own emote.
Give us our own due. Go easy on the other party. And
nah, it's fine. It's fine.
ends out.
You're fine. Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. It's just a lot of explosions going on around you. Don't worry about it. Anyway, after asking around for Dina's home, in Callahan's own way, you go right to the edge of the Seven Rocks. You see a small wooden house with a daub roof nestled between what seems to be a butcher and a whorehouse. The door seems
Butcher shop checks out with information we don't have from the other party.
Indeed. The door seems to be closed, and the windows seem to be closed as well. But the moment you get there, you do see Kyoho. You look around, and you see a couple looking at you. You see an old man sitting by a door, also looking in your direction. A few kids running around, keeping their eyes on you. Everyone in general pays attention to the newcomers.
Yeah. And I stand out.
Quite a lot, yes.
Mm-hmm. Now, if I recall, wasn't her place attacked?
It would appear from what you heard that Dina was kidnapped in her own place.
Yeah. All right. Well, time to knock on the door.
All right. You head up to the door, knock. Callahan keeps watch for a moment. next to the door as well, and there is no sound coming from the other side.
I'll wait a little bit more and then knock louder.
Okay. You wait a little bit more, no sound, and then you take your big Oni fist and doof, 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 doof. A lot of heads turn at the sound. You hear a man just grumble something and spit on the ground as he's walking past, but nobody accosts you yet. And there is once again silence.
Hmm. Well, she was kidnapped from here. Is anybody still living here?
It is a
No, we can
small
just
home.
go in.
All right, you want to break down a door?
I mean, we can.
Oh, Sarcastrophe! Welcome to the stream. How are you, buddy?
Hey guys!
You're just in time.
Just in time so I don't have to play you. Yay!
Oh no, what you mean just in time? That's not a good start of a
No,
sentence.
we just switched over to your side of the story, and now I don't have to pretend to do an Irish accent. That's nice.
Oh thank god. Now I've got to pretend to do an Irish accent.
Everyone would
Alright.
lose from that.
Okay, so the other two got through their encounter without dying, so it's up to us to TPK.
Did you just say encounter? Oh dear.
It was a very,
Yeah.
very difficult encounter, and they nearly died, but well, they survived.
That's
Anyway,
brilliant. And I can also act as if I wasn't there for any
that
of it.
is perfect. That is perfect. Then why the hell were you here the whole time listening in on their side of the story? It makes no sense. Anyway, all right, so go on.
Because it was game time and I was here.
Yeah, I know. I'm kidding. All right. I will say. I will.
I understand Sarcastrophe had like extenuating circumstances.
Of
It's
course.
not a dig at you. Like
Shade.
We're just kidding.
Shade.
We're just kidding.
no shade intended. No
None.
copyright intended.
Yes. Well, anyway, since you are now here, I will just reread because I like reading and I had this written out so I don't mess it up. Reread what you see during your initial entrance into the Seven Rocks. Sarcastrophe, Callahan and Kyoho, when you enter the Seven Rocks, you do know that this place is a dangerous place. Everyone immediately looks upon you. Both you, the priest in heavy armor, and the tall Oni woman. Even though everyone clearly heard about the tragedy that happened not too long ago, everyone is still more worried about, what you have in your purse and how they can get it. Welcome to the Seven Rocks. But luckily, you're big, strong, well armed and well armored, one of you at least. So nobody really approaches you. And after asking around for Dina's home, which is at the edge of the Seven Rocks, you go and find this small wooden house with a daub roof that is between a butcher and a whorehouse. You see on either side of you see a door and then windows on either side of the door. Door seems closed, window seem closed. There's several people looking at you, and Kyoho tried to knock. No one heard. No one responded. She attempted to knock more aggressively. Still, no one heard. And yes, continue from there.
Are we looking for your one? Do you reckon she's home? I know we were talking about her like not 20 minutes ago, but her name was like something.
Her name is Dina.
Dina, yeah.
Yeah.
Of course. Oh my goodness. I wrote all my notes down on a physical copy so I wouldn't lose them. Of course.
Aha!
That's why I kept. Okay, hold on. Yeah, hold on.
It's always a delight, players that take notes.
Haha.
Not throwing shade at my other players, they also take notes.
Well, no, I lost my notes like 2 to 3 times on a computer. I
just
don't know
Aw.
how I saved them.
during our bit because when I type, it's loud.
Your mechanical keyboard, I hear you.
Yeah.
Okay, so
Well, it's okay.
butchers are closed.
No, we're at the house in between the butcher and the whorehouse.
Yes.
Oh, lovely.
Yeah.
Are the
it's-
butcher or the whorehouse open?
The whorehouse.
Well, both actually no, the butcher seems to be closed, and the whorehouse seemed to be quite active.
Is there a reason why the butcher would be closed? Like, are we late in the day, or is it like
Nope, this is early morning. Actually, it's more midday, so it would be open at this point.
Kyoho? I'm thinking, since you are very good at hunting animals and skinning them and selling them and whatnot, how's about you knock on the door of the butchers? I'm gonna check out this other establishment. Don't know what it is, but I see a few people coming and going.
All right.
I'm sure Callaghan doesn't have any ulterior motives.
Of course.
And I take out my Bible. Let's go.
Excuse me, have you heard the word of Mal? Yes. All right, so the party that was already splits even further. As one of you goes to the butcher's, the other one goes to the whorehouse. So, first, the butcher. Kyoho,
Knock on this door.
you knock on that door, and there is silence for a few seconds, and then after those seconds are up, you do hear, "Hey, we are closed."
I'm here to ask about things.
Go ask somewhere else.
There aren't many buildings around the one I am investigating.
There's like 3 seconds of silence, and then you hear you hear heavy footsteps, and then the door unlocks, and you see the door open, and you see this large man, taller than you, Kyoho, which is not a lot of humans are. He has this darker skin, more tan skin, bald head, big bushy beard, a blood-stained apron, and he just puts his hands on either side of the door, leaning in. But then he sees the Oni, and then he leans back a little bit. What do you want?
I'm investigating the woman who lived next door that was apparently kidnapped.
He looks at you. What? What do you want with Dean?
It depends on what she's been up to.
And he steps forward, and you see him puff up, and his face twists. He seems angry immediately. And are you one of the ones that took Dean?
No.
Shut up, Spyro. I'm trying, damn it. Different accents. I never should have made you a moth. Uh, I don't. He steps back a little bit and looking you over. I haven't seen Dina in 2 days. I'm very worried. Very worried.
I understand.
I haven't eaten or sleep. Sleep. Yes, sleep in 2 days, and I've working and going around, and I, I need her.
I am trying to find her.
Well, if I knew where she is, I would have gone there myself.
I know that. I would like to investigate her place, for I heard that she was kidnapped from there, to see if there's any clues to help me find out who took her and where they took her.
Well, I, I, I haven't been to her place. I did not want to. I did not want to break in. The door is closed. The windows are closed.
Hmm. Yes, I knocked a few times, but understandably no one answered.
Roll me a persuasion.
Oh boy, persuasion.
Karaho's one weakness, talking.
I have a +1 in that.
Ah, there we go.
Kara has plus persuasion.
Yeah, I have a 12 charisma to assist with my intimidation checks.
Ah, yes.
He narrows his eyes. He doesn't say anything. He just doesn't seem to be trusting you too much. How do I know you're not looking to steal from Dina? Once you go inside.
I would be fine with you watching over my investigation in order to make sure that does not happen.
Yes. I will go. I will go with you. And he turns around, picks up, and you see this large, bloody butcher's cleaver, and he just carries it. Let's go. I had to,
All right.
sorry. All right. In the meantime, we jump to Callahan. Callahan.
Hey, ladies!
Yes. Well,
How's it going?
you say
Anyone ever
that.
heard of a good word of mall?
You say that as you enter the whorehouse. Immediately, you see before you a very disheveled place. You see several. It is not a big place. It has two. Is a wooden building with 2 floors. The door is wide open. It actually just has a curtain. And then you see several rooms spread around this first floor, all of them with curtains. This seems to be a very low budget, very cheap whorehouse. And you see a few girls walking around, not in the best conditions and not the most attractive. Some of them possibly some serious diseases that are very apparent, but apparently some people still go for it. And none of them seemed very happy. And as you say that, as you enter, shouting about Maul, you see this burly guy, this shaved head, he's a human, but he seems about as tall as Damir, approach you. He has this large knife in the front of his belt and goes, "Hey, we don't want none of that here. Go away, priest."
I'd be willing to leave. However, I come to you with my own services to give.
He just looks at you, kind of like he doesn't have the brain power to process what you just said.
That works. Tell me, fine sir, are you the concierge of this place, of this fine establishment?
The what? No.
The sommelier, if you will.
Oh.
How do you
Mom! Just Mom!
As it would say, the old Kran Nulik.
You see one of the curtains opens, and you do see a set of stairs leading up, and a middle-aged woman walks over. She's a bit more well-dressed than the other ones, and she is holding her dress closed, and she, "What is it, you dumb oaf?" And she, "Oh, this guy's talking about come see and smear about weird stuff. I think he's a priest. Yeah, I don't know what to do." What do I pay you? You don't. You're my mom. She just shoves him to the side. "We don't want none of your business, priest. So either you're here for a girl and you're gonna pay for your services, or you're gonna leave. Now, before I get my son to beat your face."
As much as I'm sure your fine young gentleman of a son is, and I give him a brief nod and tap the Book of Maul, I look back towards herself and go, I'm actually here on certain business that may or may not eventually lead to the law, in the ideas and hopes that any members of such group, including that of the local, well, let's say, less than competent sheriff of this town, I'm willing to cut you a deal. I'm trying to find as much information as I can about Dina from next door. Young girl, bright young woman, apprentice to some weird ass wizard whose name, who's to say what his name really was? In exchange, your place looks like it could use a little bit of mending, and I'm a man who can mend. And I once again tap the good Book of Maul.
She looks at the Book of Maul and goes, "You one of those inquisitors?"
I wish. However, I am not. I'm nothing more than a humble priest. I'm a man of the cloth, if you will.
Oh. Not much I can say. I can talk to you about Dina. She's a stuck-up bitch. She worked here for a few months and thought she was too good for it. Went for that whole magic business.
Now, do you know if she had any enemies per se? Of the well, how about this? Does the sort of idea, the arrangement I'm putting forward, strike you at all interesting? If so, I can start getting to work, and as I work along, maybe then answers might be given a bit more freely.
The only thing I want is for you to get the fuck out of my establishment.
Can I use mending on something that looks particularly broken to kind of show that I'm legit?
Sure.
Or kind of like better show what I was getting at.
Okay, there is next to you a pole supposedly holding up a curtain that seems to have been broken, and it's just hanging limply. The room isn't even in use. You can fix that. It is the most obvious thing you catch.
Yeah, I'll just cast mending on that.
Okay, and it just
And
repairs
then
it.
as I do, can I possibly mention, just like state the cost of what repairing that would have been?
Sure, roll me an intelligence.
Ooh, okay. How good is my intelligence, I wonder?
I
Oh
wonder.
no!
It's always good when you say, "How good is my intelligence?" Oh no!
Oh no! Oh yes!
Oh,
yeah!
yes! Oh yes! All right. Well, it deals with money and bribery, so you're good with that. So you get the you get the sense it's to get that fixed, about a silver or two.
And then I kind of gesture around the rest of this place. I'm like, I'm not saying you'd need the money, but I'm definitely sure to help.
She looks at it, then looks at you. Hmm. You're a priest, right? Then
Yes,
can you cure illnesses?
most certainly I can. Well, it depends on the illness.
That's so.
I can do my best. I'll tell you that much.
Oh. Tell you what. You fix the place a little bit, cure some of the girls with the worst, more visually unappealing diseases, and I can tell you what I know.
Unreal.
All right.
Bring on the ladies.
All right. And she turns around. Rebecca, get your ugly ass here! There's a moment, and you just see a woman steps out. She has this amazing huge sore on her lip and chin, and she approaches you like nervously, and she like goes to grab your hand to take you to one of the rooms, and the woman just slaps her. Not that, just stay still. Fix her.
Well, it looks like a sword. Is it a wound or is it more
No,
of a
no. Get a roll of medicine.
cure? Come on, boys. Medicine. I'm proficient. Let's go. Ho!
Oh, this is
Hey.
a very obvious disease from her line of work. This is without magic, it wouldn't really be cured. Not with the medicine that exists right now. It is
No, that's
incredibly infectious. Like just touching it is probably going to get you infected.
Oh dear. Do I know what spell would work? Is it more of a cure wounds type of job?
This would be.
Is she so far gone that I'm casting Spare the Dying?
You wish. No. Well, maybe her soul, but not her body.
Okay.
Well, cure wounds is more for big like from injuries and recovering energies and whatnot. For diseases, it would be, it'd be lesser restoration, which is a third level spell, if I'm not wrong.
Easy could be. I don't have it.
Well, it is a third level spell. It is a bit beyond your capabilities. You deal more in, cut wounds and bruises. Is it second level?
It is second level. Hold on.
All right. Well,
Do I get it as a grave domain?
lesser restoration.
Hold on. Man.
I don't think you get it as a
No,
grave
it's
domain.
life cleric.
Yeah. I
Yeah,
get
it's
gentle
life
repose.
cleric. But it would fix her. You just don't have it prepared.
Yeah, I just say that to the madame. I'm just open and honest. I'm like, look, I can heal her, but it'll have to take a day. It's kind of how this magic stuff works. More often than not, I can only do certain things per day, but I can have words with Maul. He'll sort me out. Very, very charming individual. Well worth having his sign over your doorstep, especially if you're looking to go to the good place.
Good. Then when you have the healing, you'll have the information.
So here's the thing. I can tell you exactly where I'll be staying tonight, so you can have this young lady arrive at my doorstep whenever so fit, and whenever it suits you, my dear. I look at her and I was like, be a queen, girl. And because I kind of need the information now. It's a matter of urgency for myself.
Roll persuasion.
Cool, let's go. Persuasion. Oh no. Oh yes. Oh yes. All these high numbers.
All right.
Unreal.
Nice.
We only roll well when it's non-combat.
Yeah. Well, at least you roll well. All right. She scowls at you, but then she starts looking at Mal and then looks in your eyes. And goes, I got your word that you're coming back.
You have my word on the book of Maul itself, and I put my hand on the book. I'm trying to just be like as honest as I can, and try and let that show through my facial expressions.
She doesn't. She seems to struggle a bit, but then she nods. I don't usually do this, but my mama told me to trust priests, so I'll do it this time. What do you want to know about Dina?
All right. So, allegedly, and I understand that there is certain matters that you can and cannot discuss depending on who or who wasn't involved in it. However, allegedly that there was a furry being or a furry creature that had kidnapped Dina the other day.
Yeah. Well, that's what Jack said.
Have you heard any rumors of these large fur creatures? And who is Jack?
Jack is the butcher.
Jack is the butcher. The butcher next door to Dina, is it?
Yeah.
Very interesting. And does he... What's your feeling on him?
What's my feeling on him? The man's obsessed with Dina. He's been stalking her for, I don't know, about 2 years now.
All right, sus. Okay. And tell me this. Do you think he's trustworthy?
Fuck
do you
no.
Do you think he has her?
It wouldn't surprise me. He's been obsessed with her. Listen, when she worked here, Jack was let's just say her most regular customer.
Worrying. Okay. And tell me this about things. The large furry creature. Any rumors that any of your girls have picked up?
Well, she looks around. One of my girls said that she saw something a few nights ago when she was heading home. It was big, and she said she was more of a shadow. But she was scared, and it was big enough for her to run away.
How do you mean more of a shadow?
It was dead at night, from what I hear. Seems like she didn't get a good view of it, but it was something scary enough. Scary. Listen, we live in the Seven Rocks.
It's It's a feature of the neighborhood. I hear you.
Yes.
I guess I have another big question now, and I do understand it might be a touchy subject considering the history of Seven Rocks and its community. Any word on Sketch?
No idea.
No idea, because I've got a bone to pick with the man.
You and probably half the town, or more. Now after what I've heard, he's done.
What's that? Oh,
He just
word's
looks
gonna
at
be that
you.
quick, has it? Yeah. So not only was I there, but I've actually met Sketch once before in his lair. Let's
Didn't-
just say I fully intend to start or finish what I started down there.
A lot of people are going to thank you for that.
Can I ask you, if you hear anything regarding him, would you be in any way inclined to contact myself?
If you heal all my girls, and if you promise to do it, I'll be more than happy to provide you with some information. Considering it doesn't trace back the sketch, should you fail, of course.
Never.
Good.
And to keep things okay between myself and yourself, if anything else becomes destroyed, let me know.
Yes. Also, and she steps forward and she reaches down for your belt. And do you allow her?
No, because I've got a smaller book of Maul down there.
Like, I'm gonna have. Nice. So, I'm gonna have to make it look like you just had a good time. So you know, people
If
don't
you hang
start
a sign of
talking.
Maul up on your door, there won't be any questions. I am very, very strict about that shit. Praise Maul. I do my little Maul blessing to myself. Just say you were born again. I don't know. It might.
That's bad for business.
Oh, I don't know, man. Totally up to yourself. But if you hear any news, I hope some partnership can be held between me and you from here on out.
Yes, yes. Well, go away. I have business to attend to, and you have your own business until you can heal my girls.
May Maul be with you. I-
Whatever.
Make my way out. The son, what's his name? Like Frankie Boy or something like that?
She didn't name him, so just my dumb son.
I call him Frankie Boy regardless.
Okay.
I'm like, all right, Frankie. Have a good one.
Hey Ma, he knows my name. He looks very happy about that.
I skedaddle to the
All
front.
right. And as you skedaddle to the front, you see Kyoho getting close to the door of Dina's place with a very large fellow with a butcher's apron and a cleaver in his hand standing behind her.
I'll just give a small wave like, ahoy, friends! Hey! And hopefully get both their attention.
Oh, they look at you and you go, is he with you?
Indeed.
Kyoho, clock him! And I start making my way really jolly, just pretending that like what I said wasn't out of the ordinary until I can get close enough and try and headbutt him.
What is the meaning of clock? I do not know what clock is. And he looks very confused towards Kyoho.
She also looks confused. She
All right.
nods her way.
And immediately Callahan, as both of you are looking confused, he looks back at Callahan, and Callahan, you go to headbutt him. Roll an attack. Roll just strength with proficiency.
Strength with proficiency. Okay. Alright, it's just +2.
There we go. Actually, it's a surprise, so I'm going to give you advantage.
Oh, thank you. Oh, definitely thank you for that. Roll d20 +2. Ooh, spicy.
All right.
Okay.
All right. What's your strength?
0.
0. Okay. So
And, yeah.
you walk up to him and you headbutt him, and he stumbles back. "Oh, what's the matter with you? What's the matter with you?" And he grabs his cleaver very angrily, just bleeding a little bit because you just dealt 1 point of damage.
Oh, class. I kind of point at him. I was like, "That's for stalking women. Shit's uncool, bro."
What? What? Oh. He looks between you and Kyo. I do not know what he's talking about.
Shut up, man. I'm not talking to you anymore. And turn to Kyoho. What's this loser doing? That's Jacques, isn't it? I turned and was like, "You are Jacques, right?"
What? Yes.
Shut up, loser. Okay. Why is he out here with you, Kyoho? You know he's a freak.
Do not understand these people.
Okay, well, I heard from the mama of the house next door that this guy was sniffing all around Dina's business before she was captured. And most people think she's in his basement right now.
That is ridiculous.
Why would he agree to assist us in investigating her whereabouts?
Well, I didn't get that far, did I?
You
However,
charged
I
him
feel
before
all
we-
my actions are justified by Maul.
Tina and I have been lovers for 2 years now.
Talk to the hand, nerd.
I do not know what a nerd is. This man has weird language. I barely understand.
Can I swap into Oni if that's okay?
Sure, you can start speaking Oni.
Okay. Kyoho, I'm going to trust your judgment if you think that we can rely on this guy. However, if he does anything or says anything weird, I'm going to headbutt him again.
She's going to reply in Oni. Oh, if he says or does anything weird, I'll cut him in half before you can do that.
All right. And just saying, his basement is a new place we got to check.
All right.
Okay, let's swap back at Oni. All right, freak, I'm willing to keep talking to you. However, one, you clearly had no lovers. You work in a butcher's. No one likes anyone who's covered in blood.
Wow, throwing shade.
Callahan woke up today and chose violence.
Yes, and he looks very confused. Who is this man?
My
I'm asking
name
myself the same thing.
is Callahan Dirge.
He just takes a step
I
back.
am a priest.
A crazy priest. So, what are you guys doing? He's not leaving your side, but he's just looking at Callahan very confused.
Kyoko's just gonna... Sorry, Kyoho. She's going to look to him and ask, do you have a way to open this door?
No, she only had the one key, so she couldn't spare one for me.
All right. Do you mind if we open the door?
If it has to be done, it has to be done.
All right. Okay. I'm going to knock the door.
I'm watching this guy.
Okay.
Does he actually have a spare key?
Roll an insight.
Okay. All right. I'm very suspicious of this guy. Ooh.
You get the sense that he got flustered, and he just made up the first excuse that came to mind.
So he doesn't have a key.
That he made up the excuse as to why he doesn't have a key.
Ah.
Because she only had one key, understand? So he couldn't get one for himself. They are totally lovers.
I'm looking at this guy. I'm like, man, you're the sussest fucker in the world.
Yeah.
When the butcher is sus.
Yeah.
All right.
Can I have thieves? Ooh, do I? Oh no, I might not have actual thieves' tools. I'm just proficient in it.
Maybe you should have bought the tools you have proficiency for with the money that you got
Maybe.
from the last mission, like I did.
Yeah.
I don't think, did I? Do I not have nothing now?
You don't have thieves' tools if they didn't come with your
My
equipment.
background. Yeah, I thought I might have. Drats. That's okay.
Weird.
I'm a man of God.
Backgrounds will sometimes give you tool proficiencies, and then you're like, get the tool yourself.
Yeah, that's probably what happened where I just didn't
You
cop that
you
up.
you had the criminal background, right?
Yeah.
Equipment. You get a crowbar,
Yeah,
a set
that's
of dark clothes, with a
My-
hood and a belt pouch.
my silk pajamas. Yes.
Yes, your silk pajamas.
Can
But
I whip out my crowbar and open the door?
you totally can if you want, Kyoho. You just see him whip out a crowbar.
It works.
Yeah.
All right.
I mean, she would just kick it down, so this seems just as effective.
Callahan's
Alright.
just like, don't worry, I have a key.
The best.
As
key.
I do, I'll mutter like a small sacrament to Maul and such,
All
just to keep it kosher.
Callahan, you approach the door with the crowbar, and
Okay.
you are about to just try to pry it open, and suddenly you feel there is a moment of quiet, and suddenly you feel something grab your hand, a gentle touch, almost like a smaller hand is gripping your fingers. And then you hear a soft whisper in your ear. Don't.
Oh, I stop. I pull back, and I do a couple of blessings, cast guidance on myself. Proper guidance on Kyoho. I walk back 5 feet. I walk back again 5 feet. Oh
Alright.
God. Oh dear, Maul. And then I
Guidance,
hand the
concentration,
crowbar
only have it up on one
to.
of us.
Just
Can I
wanna,
hand the crow?
I just want to point Kyoho. He was about ready to open it, suddenly stopped, started praying, and started backing away very quickly. That is all you saw.
Can I swap to
What's up?
Oni and tell Kyoho what happened?
You can tell
very
Kyoho
flustered.
what the hell you want.
I'm very flustered as I explain kind of like what happened. And then I add, do we keep going in through the door, or do we give it to Mr. El Slimo Ballo, if you know what I mean?
Kyoho has a decent wisdom, so can I justify sort of
Can I
figuring
justify?
stuff out despite not being a spellcaster, given what's happened today? I'm wise.
Listen, you can deduct whatever Kyoho would deduct from hearing the mad ramblings of this priest.
Okay. So. What I feel like might be the case. If whoever kidnapped Dina, I'm responding in Oni, just so
yeah.
it's an Oni chat.
Jax is getting very
Jack's
infuriated because he cannot understand anything you two are saying, but he's not saying anything.
What I'm thinking is that your divine connection perhaps stopped you from doing that. Perhaps because whoever is behind the kidnapping, it made contingencies for people investigating this. And it is possible that her house might be trapped in the same way as what caused the explosion earlier today.
Oh, God.
Us trying to open this door might cause another explosion.
Oh, man. This divine shit. All right. What do you think?
I think we should come back here with the others that are more attuned with the arcane in order to investigate this more thoroughly. I not think the two of us have the abilities needed to make sure that this is safe.
Yeah, no, look, man, bruh, I totally agree. And still in Oni, I go, Do you want to go back into the butcher's place and explore El Basemento?
I am not certain how him kidnapping her out of obsession would be connected to the attack that happened earlier today. That seems like two different motives.
Okay, well, I don't trust this guy at all, and I don't want to leave him alone. How's about? Alright, how's about? I nip back into next door and I ask the mama's boy, Frankie, to keep an eye on him.
If that would keep you satisfied, I'd be fine with that.
Are we not
Alright.
going into the house? And he like puts his hand on the knob.
I reply back in common. No. Or not?
But
The-
we were just
My
going to
friend-
break in.
Yeah,
My
well,
priest friend has gotten a premonition that doing so might be quite dangerous for all of us involved.
yeah, I'm really
So we
powerful like
are
that.
taking extra caution.
What
and we'll
about
seek extra-
Tina?
Yeah, well, Dina, Dina's somewhere. Hey, Jack, I got some suggestions. We're gonna be coming back here, so you can either come with us, or if you want to wait inside your place, gear up, and well, you know, we'll knock on your door, and you can help us find Dina.
What? Roll
Jack,
persuasion.
baby, come on, snap, snap, make the decision, real snip of the moment.
Make a persuasion.
Make a persuasion, okay. Ooh, oh
Okay.
my god. This is
He
doing
d-
well.
He does go. We can go in through the back, maybe.
Jack, buddy, I think it's best if we do this all as a single unit. You're striking out. You're striking off. No one wants that. You gotta be a team player. You gonna be a team player?
You know what? I will wait. I will wait until nightfall. Then I will go in.
You'll go in with us. I hear you, buddy, and I give him a small little tap on the cheek.
You're
Look,
a very
man,
confusing man.
I am. You go in there, you prepare a little bit of sausage or whatever it is you fucking do. You creep. I'll be back in 2 seconds. All right, love you, baby. And then I go back into the whorehouse if at all possible.
Callaghan is sending very mixed messages.
Yes. Also, he is very confused, but he just. It's mostly the confusion that makes him not say anything as you both walk away.
That's how we operate here.
Yes.
Face palm.
Can I make a quick whistle to Frankie?
Sure, you can go past the whorehouse. You just see Frankie pops his when you whistle. It pops up. What?
Frankie, how would you like to make a little bit of coin?
Yeah, I like coin.
Awesome. Me too, and I think you'd look a lot better with it in your pockets.
Yeah,
Do you know Jack from next door?
yeah.
Okay. You tell me if he does anything at all suspicious, if he leaves the place, if he talks to anyone, what sort of business is happening with him, and I give you 3 gold pieces. Easy money.
Want me to stab him?
That's not off the table. But only if it looks like he's trying to flee.
All right,
And you can understand that any way you want.
all right. So if he
Three
walks
gold,
out of the
3
house, he's fleeing.
If he walks more than 5 steps away.
Okay. And he starts like counting with his fingers. 1,
Callaghan
Two,
may have just paid
three,
some kill.
4.
I
Fine.
didn't. No.
Got it.
I'm helping out the local economy.
Got it.
Just say, all right, Frankie, and I give him a nice little tap on the shoulder, and I'm like, and I cast guidance, and I was like, that is the power of Maul.
Oh yeah, it's
All right,
glowy.
Frank, love you, and I start make a little jog away from him.
Bye, strange priest. And then you
Bye,
see him, as you're leaving, like going around the corner, you just see him walk, stand in front of the butcher with the knife in his hand, just watching the door.
That is perfect. That is exactly where I need him to be.
Every time you're talking about Frankie and voicing him, I'm thinking of Sloth from the Goonies, by the way.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
Are you guys?
I love it.
I just had to throw that out there.
All right. So, both of you head towards the wounded soldier. And I am going to say, for convenience sake, you both, all four of you, meet at around the same time as you arrive. Callahan and Kyoho, you look and see Damir and Emerus arrive, safe and sound, not a scratch on them.
Well, not any more scratches than earlier.
Yes. You can unmute yourselves.
Salutations. How goes with your investigation?
Well, we found Dina's house, and we were about to attempt to open the door with force to investigate it, and something stopped Callahan from doing it. So I am suspecting there might be...
But like someone grabbed a hold of him and prevented him from opening it.
Someone who
Whoa.
we can see.
Callahan,
Wait.
what happened?
Kyoho, were you the person who stopped Callahan? Were you the one who stopped Callahan? You said Callahan was stopped by someone. Was it you? Was it someone
By
else?
something. He was getting ready to go, and then he just started praying and backing away, right?
Callaghan, what
I'm
happened?
not familiar with any spells that would create such a interesting occasion.
I
Your
suspect that is something to do with his divine connection.
I thought we were in agreement that it was definitely because of my divine connection.
Yes.
Oh, my apologies then. Dimir just closes his book with some disappointment.
Why? What happened with you guys?
We
Panel in the Discord. Click to it.
we have firstly discovered the nature of Sketch's affliction. We believe it's due to this knife. It has been appraised, and it is related to Shikata, who is a demigod of vermin. So
That checks out.
indeed, it certainly explains the unique appearance of Sketch. And we have also discovered that this apprentice may not have been kidnapped, and she may have been involved in Sketch's schemes in the first place. For when she was kidnapped, supposedly, she was no longer an apprentice of Arthur. She had actually left his apprenticeship a month prior, and he had suspected her of attempting to steal, or well, successfully stealing. Some bandits stole a number of scrolls, and these scrolls were glyphs of warding. So we have found the where these spells that are being used for these attacks have come from, and it is highly likely that this apprentice is involved in these attacks either willingly or through some sort of connection with the bandits in the first place.
Interesting. That does.
We also seem to have gathered another potential lead as to that. I believe the Abjurer mentioned of sorts that there was a companion of I quite to be honest, I was kind of iffy on the exact details. Apparently, he was accused of being her lover, and then he proceeded to attack the wizard for some reason. I'm not entirely sure.
Wielded a butcher's knife.
Oh, yes.
Fuck.
We've met him.
Oh, you have?
I beg your pardon?
He lives next door to her house.
Wait. When you said that he's a suspect, what do you mean?
Well, we learned simply that he was related in some way to the apprentice. So,
Yes, and like I said, I don't entirely understand it myself, especially because most of you, well, just cultural differences, I suppose. But apparently, it was, if I recall correctly, Imris, the author had mentioned something about thinking that he was perchance her lover, and then he proceeded to try and run at him and cut him down. At which point,
yes,
he
he
was
appeared
unable to defend
angered
himself.
that
Very
she
confusing.
had left Arthur's apprenticeship. So he attacked.
Callahan swears like dead loudy, like a proper bad one, and then push himself off from wherever we're like sit at or whatever, and then I just start tearing down the road back to Jack's. I'm like, Frankie!
Okay, so
Have you had
you just see Callahan just take off.
Amir runs after him and starts taking notes. What was the premonition like this time? Does your god actually speak to you? Do you feel like is it a sort of
Yeah. I'll tell you on the way up. You get your spells ready, buddy.
All right. You
I will
dash.
follow at a brisk pace with my 10 foot higher than everybody else
Yeah,
move speed.
Kyoho, you're the most composed while trying to follow. Emrys?
Emrys is following.
Okay, so you're trying to follow as best you can as Callahan just dashes down the Sun Road towards the Seven Rocks. Just full sprint.
Full sprint.
Yeah. And eventually you do get to the butcher's house. And as you get there, you do see Jax, the butcher, on the ground, bleeding.
Is he dead, or is he just bleeding out?
You get close to him.
Is Frankie there? Where's Frankie?
Okay, you look around, and you see Frankie. He seems to be leaning against the door to the whorehouse, like cleaning his fingers, his nails, with a very bloody knife as he looks at you and winks like, yeah.
Frankie, are you okay? And I say this standing right above the body.
Yeah.
Wait, sorry, Jack is he's just bleeding out. He is alive.
Oh no, he's dead. Like
He's
now that
dead?
you're very close, he is very dead on the floor.
Oh, spare the dying.
Okay, you try.
I use my long range spare the dying to just go like boop.
Yeah, you try to do spare the dying. He's been dead for a few minutes.
I thought I said he was dying.
No, he's dead. He's dead. He's just dead.
Even though I got like that 30 feet of spare the dying, I can't just go. Pew.
Oh no, he's
been dead for a while.
Yeah, he's been dead for a while.
I keep screaming, Frankie!
Yeah.
Are you okay?
Oh yeah.
Oh, Frankie, my boy! And I hop over the body and I wrap my arms around him.
Oh, Daddy.
Father is what they call me at the church.
Okay, and he like hugs you, and then you feel it. This is the strongest hug you've ever gotten in your life. Even some Oni haven't hugged you as strong as Frankie has right now.
I thought I lost you.
Yeah.
Emrys is just kind of like looking at the body, looking at Callaghan hugging this like random massive guy, just like trying very hard to look like they know what's going on, but they have absolutely no idea.
Yeah.
Kyoho's gonna motion down to the body. Well, this was the butcher.
I see. And
That was there.
I want to point out something. There's a dead body in the middle of the road. Nobody passing gives a shit.
Yeah.
Sounds legit.
Yeah. But Frankie go, oh, he tried to leave. I said no. Then he took the 5 steps, and he shows you 3 fingers, and I got him.
Yeah.
That's okay, my boy. And I take the 3 going like, how's about you don't tell your mom about this?
Okay.
Excuse me for a second. Callahan,
Hey,
Did
Jameer,
you-
what's up?
did you pay this man to kill the... I beg your pardon?
No. I didn't pay him to kill him. He unfortunately died of his wounds that were inflicted by the guy that I had paid to keep an eye on him. Those are 2 very separate things, and I appreciate the distinction it's made. You are a man of intelligence. Now,
I just know. I'm not quite sure I'm not quite sure
Wow.
you. I was rolling to see if I would go along with it.
Now you roll a 20.
That seems to be rather the same thing. If you paid him gold to potentially attack him, and now he's, well, dead, that seems... I guess I don't see quite the nuance in the situation as you seem to be describing it.
I'm sure Callaghan had some.
it could be a cleric thing. I don't know.
I'm sure Callaghan had some very compelling reasons for his choice of actions.
Yeah, admittedly, I didn't think he'd die.
People die when they are killed.
Demir remembers back when Callahan offered him gold to do a task for him. And he feels very guilty about himself.
So
I'm
apparently, I overpaid the man, and he look, Demir, you guys weren't here. If you knew half the things that I knew about this guy, I mean, I don't even know if he would
We even know half the things about this guy.
Well, let me tell you one thing. This guy was a perv, was a poive, if you will.
What now?
You know. And I kind of, I give him a look.
Facepalm.
This guy here, he not only did he assault the local wizard, if rumors are to be believed, but he's been stalking and harassing this poor Dina lady.
Yes, I'm sure Callaghan had discerned his involvement in this plot, which was his reasoning for these actions.
Spot on. Yes. Yes, and I don't break eye contact with Demir. That is exactly it. Now,
I suppose that would make some iota of sense.
This does unfortunately leave us without a lead to interrogate. Did you, Callaghan, did you and Kyoho perhaps learn anything? You mentioned you had gone to open the door to her house, but you had neglected to, or not neglected to, but chosen not to do so. Perhaps,
good choice of words.
perhaps that would be something that we should investigate together.
Yeah.
Yes.
So ideally, what would have happened was that I'd either ask one of you two to possibly discern if there was any additional magical elements to the doorway, and if not, I was going to get him to open the door. So he clearly skipped my plan.
Sorry.
Well, I
I
attempt.
suppose I'll take a look at it. Demir goes over to the door that Callahan's referring to and starts ritual casting Detect Magic.
Okay.
10 minutes later.
Oh, while he's doing that, Can I ritual cast? Can I ritual? Can I ritual cast detect magic on himself?
Do you have the tech magic
I
prepared?
do. Yeah, because I didn't add in any extra spells, so I've been able to change any of my prepared spells.
Okay, so if you have it prepared, you can ritual cast it as well.
Hmm.
So both of you start chanting different chantings for the same spell, because different origins. And
Also, kind of making kind of arcane movement stuff.
all right,
Are you doing like a little dancey dance sort of idea?
yo, you're the only one not trying to cast a spell, quote unquote.
Emrys is definitely helping.
I
Yes,
cast facepalm.
yes. There's a lot of people watching as you ritual cast detect magic. First of all, Damir. Well, both of you, the moment you finish casting, you feel a strong abjuration type magic coming from the door.
Oh, I take 10 steps back. I'm on the other side of the street.
Yeah,
Do I recognize?
I like motion for M and Kyoho to kind of just back up too.
recognize that
recognize
it is
the,
abjuration magic.
magic?
That's the only thing you discern. It is magic, and it is abjuration magic. You also recognize, both of you, magic coming from Amaris.
Coming from
I would
me.
say that there's
Yes.
definitely a strong, very, very, very strong chance that this is in fact, how do you say it? Uh, booby trapped. Is that correct? That.
Now, that is correct. Myself and Kyoho did discern some information from this scumbag here on the ground. I gesture to the body.
Yes. There's like a trail of blood slipping further down the road.
There is a possibility of a secondary entrance that could have only been known by a perverted individual through the back. She had a back door, possibly with a patio. I have yet to investigate this. And I kind of like nod towards the butchers to kind of like maybe go through that way rather than the.
Well,
That is
I would
a
certainly be safer. Yes, I lack
What
quite the skill yet to disable such an arcane.
though it would be worth checking before, of course, whether this back entrance is also what.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Given the suspicions that Dina may be working with whoever supposedly kidnapped her, she would know about the second door and the possibility that it needs to be trapped. If hiding their tracks is the intention.
Or are these buildings connected? Are they?
They are connected. There is an alleyway between the whorehouse and Dina's home, but not one from there. It's basically connected between the butcher and
Brilliant.
yeah.
Brilliant.
Let us investigate this back door then.
We also have a third way as well. One that I'm sure no one would have had the forethought toward.
Breaking through a wall.
Breaking through the wall.
And we have a fourth option as well.
Oh.
I could attempt
Is
to.
that wall another wall?
No, I could attempt to remotely open the door while we remain outside of the radius of any blasts such as the one we experienced.
Jesus, lads, we have all the options in the world at this point.
Well, let us try.
Well, it's possible if that last option of potentially setting off the trap, while it could be safe for the future, it does, especially it's acid again, it could create some collateral damage to the surrounding structures or,
That is true, but time is
also
up.
bring attention to ourselves, perhaps.
We shall resort to that if there is no other option available.
So what do you wish to do then?
We're going to the back entrance.
Yeah.
Okay. So you're going through the alley to the back of the house. All right. So you start heading through the alley. Wave goodbye to Frankie and to the dead body, and you squeeze yourself through the little alley. And once you get to the back, you do see there is another alley that runs perpendicular to that one, and you see that body waves back. Yes, and you do see there is there is no back door, but there is a back window that seems to be partially ajar.
Now,
Do I still have detect magic on?
It
Lasts like 10
lasts, yeah, it lasts for 10 minutes. So both of you still have detect magic on. You still feel the magic from the other side, from the door, from that direction. Because the house, you notice, it is not big. It is quite small. This is basically a shack.
No.
so
Oh.
only magic from the front door and not from this
Well,
window.
I mean, it's a building that's literally next door to a whorehouse. I don't expect it to be upstanding accommodations.
Just a point. Unfortunately, Raining Blades, our resident nerd wizard, does have to go. I will be taking over for Damir, but RB, thank you so much for sticking around this long. You're awesome, and we love you very much.
Awesome.
Love
Thanks.
you, Raining.
Gotta pick up my fiance from work. So.
Go on.
Okay.
No
so
worries.
prob-
We're not gonna go too much longer, but I'll play the resident wizard as best as I can, and I'll try not to not get you killed.
So then, I leave it to you.
All right. Later, friend.
Bye.
Bye.
All right.
Oh, no.
So. Now, good thing he is the tankiest of all, so I won't have to. There's a lower chance of me killing him by accident. Anyway, continue.
How big is the window?
The window, it is big enough for all of you to fit. It is a large window.
And
Maybe
it's-
Damir might have to squeeze a little bit of his ass, but he
It's not that high off the floor, I'm guessing.
Oh no. It is this place only has one floor, so it is just the ground
Yep.
floor.
Yes, this back entrance, it is not protected by any glyphs, correct?
No, I do not believe it is.
Then perhaps we can infiltrate through here and see what we can discern from inside the home.
Can I swap to Oni again?
Of course.
And I look at Kyoho and I'm like, hey, you know I'm your spiritual advisor.
You are?
Yes. So going under the assumption that Jack is obviously a mega villain here, what's the likelihood that he might have a piece of paper on his being? I know you're good at finding things. I think it'd be worth checking out his house along with this chick's house as well. Because I also know that you could definitely throw a hole through that wall in case anything goes down.
We'll see what it comes to.
Negotiated answer. I appreciate it. And I swap back to Cam and I'm like, all right, Emrys, I'm after speaking. Do you want to try and crack that window open with your...
The window's ajar. I don't.
Yeah,
think
the
we need
window's
to-
ajar.
like fully lifted up?
It actually doesn't have any glass. It's just the shutter, and the shutter is open.
Oh,
Sorry, I should have explained
No,
better.
that's totally fine. That's my fault. I just presume windows are glass. You know, that's
a spectral hand appears and just kind of like pushes it open fully.
Just
Alright.
gonna pulls the cord.
Yeah. So you just open it.
And Emrys kind of steps forward,
Mm.
climbs inside.
All right. You
And
move inside the building then.
if you just give me one moment, and as I'm doing so, Emrys is going to cast. So Emrys, as kind of Emrys is climbing through, Emrys kind of reaches and puts a hand on the like crystal on their forehead, kind of mutters a few strange, kind of indecipherable words quietly
Mm-hmm.
as they cast Detect Thoughts.
Okay.
So, one sec. I always forget what this does. Yeah. So, I can search for thoughts within 30 feet of me. So it can penetrate barriers, but 2 feet of rock, 2 inches of any metal will block it.
All right.
And I can't detect things with less intelligence than 3.
All right. So Frankie's out of the picture.
He is dead. Oh no, not that. No, that's the yeah. No,
Yeah. No,
yeah, I can't detect Frankie.
you cannot detect Frankie.
Yo, leave Frankie alone.
Hey, I'm just going by the rules.
No thoughts, head empty.
Yeah. All right. So you start detecting the surface thoughts of everyone. In general, you only detect the surface thoughts of the 3 with you.
Okay. There does not appear to be any living thing within here, so we can rule out that Sketch is not inside, or any of his companions. Nemra's gonna finish his climbing through.
Okay. So you climb through, and I assume the rest of you follow.
Yeah.
All right.
And I'm like on guard.
Okay. You once you get inside, you do see that the inside is very bare. It is a single room hovel with what passes as a small hearth in the center for cooking. There is some cookware next to it, and you see there's a hole in the roof that's for a chimney. You do see a bedroll to the right. Seems to be unmade, just completely in disarray. Aside from a few cooking utensils, you see a chair that has been knocked to the floor, and you see a chest that is currently open. Other than that, you don't really see anything out of like the initial look around.
Okay, Emrys is gonna attempt to more thoroughly investigate the area.
All right, roll an
Can I make-
investigation.
Can I look around? Just kind of make a perception check to kind of just
Okay.
check out all the stuff around me, just to see if there's anything kind of like weird or odd or kind of like eye catching.
Okay, roll a perception.
Cool. And just to double check, so is this the ground floor? Is it?
Yeah,
There's only one floor.
There's only one floor.
Yeah, there's only one floor. Yeah, just to make sure it is just the one floor.
Ooh, all right. So, Emerus, you do detect that there are clear signs of struggle. The chair on the floor, the pot that's usually hanging over the hearth is fallen on the hearth, half empty with some stew that was being cooked. And you in general see, oh yes, and the chest seems to have been open and is kind of misaligned. You also detect that there is the glyph of warding very visible on the inside of the door. Seems to be part of the door and the wall seem to be the glyph of warding. That is what you see. now for the general just look around from Callahan. You see, first of all, the first thing you notice is as you enter, you notice the window, the shutter on the window. It was open, and the locking mechanism is busted open completely. You also see that the chest also has a busted lock, and you see some papers under the bedroll.
Okay. And is my detect magic picking up anything from the chest or the bedroll and the papers and all them?
Nope, nothing. Just the glyph of warding.
I go for the bedroll first.
Do you need me to slide a perception in here too?
If you want,
There
if you're
appears
looking
to have
around.
been a struggle, which makes me believe that perhaps she was in fact taken and did not go willingly.
Kyoho, you see the same as Callahan, basically.
I'm gonna take a look at what's in the chest.
Okay. All right. So first the bed. Callahan, you go for the bed. You pull the bedroll up, and you see several loose pieces of paper.
Mm-hmm.
Very bad quality paper, cheap, and kind of tinted, but it has a lot of words you don't understand, written in a language you've seen before in the dagger, but the yeah, that's about it. You just don't really understand what it says. Meanwhile, the chest, you go to the chest and you see there's some clothing in there, but the chest is mostly open, and mostly empty, aside from just some cloth. It is like a big chest for the little amount that is there.
So it definitely looks like things were taken out of it. There's
Yes.
nothing hidden under the clothes.
Yes. You look around and just see there's some robes, but that's about it.
All right.
Actually, Callahan, you did
I'm-
notice one other thing I forgot to mention.
Mm-hmm.
And there is one of the floorboards that is slightly higher than the others.
Oh, secret basement. Yes.
Right.
Do I still have my crowbar?
Yes. But before that, Kyoho, what are you going to say?
I was gonna lift the chest up to see if there's anything underneath it.
Okay. You lift the chest up. Very easy. You lift it up. Doesn't seem to be anything, but it does seem to. You do notice one thing with your perception. There was dust, and because of the dust, when you lift it up, you do notice that it was clearly pushed aside a little.
Ooh, aside from where?
The chest was pushed aside from where it usually seems to be, and
Can I figure out where it seems to be?
yes, where the floorboard was. That
I get
lifted
my
up.
I'll put the
crowbar.
chest down and look over at that.
All right.
And I whoop it up.
You use the crowbar. Roll me a strength with advantage,
Oh, yeah.
because crowbar. All right. Thankfully for the
baby!
yeah. You do that. Meanwhile, you do see Damir goes for the papers and he starts reading. Oh, I seem to understand what it says in here. This is lay. This is a language I can speak. Just give me a moment while I read them.
What language did he say it was in?
Lay. It's the same language that was on the dagger. It is called the language of magic.
Oh. I'd say divine magic is very
It's
different.
It's celestial. It is very different. Yes.
Okay. How'd you spell it, just out of curiosity? Ley or L?
Lay.
Okay, Lay. Perfect.
From your group, I think only Damir knows how to speak it.
That is perfect.
All right. So he gets to a corner and starts to read it. You manage to just barely pull up the floorboard enough to reveal a small chest underneath the floorboard.
Small chest. Ooh.
Yes.
Am I getting any detect magic off of it?
Nope. No feeling of magic.
I call all three of the party to me.
Oh, I am very busy reading these notes. Yes.
I was already heading over that way because my investigation pointed me that way.
Yep.
I can use my Oni strength to pull it up out of the hole.
I'm gonna say, Kyoho, you very easily grab the floorboard that Callahan seems to be struggling to keep up, and you just lift it up, and it snaps.
I toss it to the side, not
you
near
go.
the door.
Yes.
Boom!
Yeah. Yeah, and you just see the small. It's a small box with a locking mechanism. Doesn't seem to need a key. It's just to keep it tightly shut.
All right, I'll open it.
All right, you open it. The moment you open it, you hear a click, and the lid goes up. You hear the click, and actually no, this is the eye roll.
Oh no!
Oh no, bruh.
No.
Whenever you roll, people die.
Ah, well, that was a natural 20.
Oh no!
Yes.
Party wipe.
So, Kyoho, roll a Constitution saving throw, please.
Constitution.
Yes.
Okay.
Great.
Can I use my daily hero point on this?
Of course you can. There we go. You suddenly, a small dart gets fired from the box and hits you in the shoulder, and you feel it's hot, as if something is trying to enter your body, but you manage to shrug it off, and what you would have taken 10 points of poison damage, but instead you just take 5.
Ow.
Yes.
It tried to hurt me, but it was fighting against the leftover alcohol.
Ah,
It's
yes.
true.
There was a lot of poison there.
Alright,
The alcohol, I mean.
I will grab the dart.
Yep.
Put that aside for us to investigate later.
All right. Inside the small chest, you find a pouch with coins. Seem to be all in gold pieces. Seems quite weighty. Seems to be a couple of dozen. And you also see a long piece of paper that's, as you open it, it seems to be a map of sorts. This map seems to indicate a route heading outside of town, and it is marked with a location, and there are notes that says 5 guards, attack at near midnight, and there's some other information about some carriage and where the goods are stored.
Ooh.
Hmm.
So is this indicating an attack on a carriage?
Yes.
This confirms the suspicions that we held that this apprentice had been involved in the attack on the carriage that had been containing these glyphs of warding scrolls.
Hmm.
However, it still does not seem like she is left willingly.
Yes,
The
if she had
handwriting.
left willingly, she would have taken this.
For the handwriting, does that look at all familiar to the note we received earlier?
Oh,
Hmm.
oh the note was like really kind of horrible handwriting.
Yeah, the note was like a 5-year-old was trying to write something. This is very delicate handwriting. It seems like the handwriting from the notes. But you also notice one thing on the back as Yoho, who's tall, is reading it. I'm going to say Emerus, who's much shorter. You're looking up at the back of it, and you notice something. You notice the Rotten King symbol on one of the corners.
Ooh. Wait, this looks like it's Dina's handwriting.
Yes.
So she's a letter that she wrote to someone else. In
This
her
is
plan.
the information that she gave for the stealing of the scrolls.
Yes, it appears that Dina was in fact a member of the Rotten Kings. It is possible that this disappearance of her and the state of her house was staged to make it appear as if she did not leave willingly, when in fact she did. As this
It still
proves
doesn't answer why this money and evidence was left behind, unless they were in a hurry.
Wait. Are we certain it is Dina's handwriting?
this is Dina's house, and there is a hidden box underneath the floor that suggests an attack on the carriage, which we already suspected Dina's involvement with.
So she wrote a letter.
No, it's not a letter. It's
Okay,
a map.
she wrote a note using the Rotten King's paper for herself, a trained wizard apprentice.
These are plans for a group to attack the carriage that had been containing these scrolls of glyphs of warding. It is because Dina knew of these scrolls. It's likely she wrote up these plans so that the Rotten Kings could acquire the scrolls.
We're certain there isn't like another apprentice or something.
It does not appear to be the case.
Well, we could have Demir and Imris return to her former master and see if he has any of her handwriting on hand still, to compare this to confirm whether or not it is her.
Possibly, though simply mentioning that, I believe that this already is incriminating enough.
Mhm.
And regardless, what we are searching for is clues leading to sketches, locations. So, although now we have more clues as to Dina's disappearance, what we really need is clues as to where she
I
is.
believe I clearly stated that I am searching for clues to whoever set off that spell.
Might I interject for a moment? I seem to have stumbled upon something in her notes, says Damir, as the best impression I can make of him.
What is it, Damir?
Yes. It would appear that Dina's relationship with the Abjurer Arthur was quite let's say strained is maybe a good way of putting it. She calls him a chauvinist elitist pig several times. And she says that apparently he was forcing her to use her own money to buy the material components for her studies, and that he proposed several times that she could pay for the materials in other ways. He's like flipping through some of the notes. Yes, it would appear that she was struggling with money and was getting desperate, and she could not handle being with him anymore. Or so the notes say.
Yes, well, a man such as Arthur certainly has a certain disposition to him. One which I am not entirely unfamiliar with. But regardless of the nature of her relationship with her former master, what is important is information regarding where she's gone. Which, unfortunately, there does not appear to be any of.
Well, it does. In the notes, she does mention the silver tongue a few times.
Hmm.
The silver tongue? Was that an inn?
I do not know. She just mentions that she had they set it up on the silver tongue, and she's tired of going there. She says.
If nothing else, by tomorrow morning I'll be able to find out.
By tomorrow morning?
Yeah, I've got a thing involving the curing of certain diseases and
Wait.
stuff. You know how I am. I am a man of many skills.
Utilizing your many talents in order to
Mm,
gain trust and information. Very clever.
that's how you do it. That's how you do it. And it's like what I'm always telling you. Networking.
Yes, I shall have to take notes. I certainly attempted myself to be on my best behavior around Arthur.
Really? I'm proud of you.
Well,
And I give a nice head pat.
I have certain experience. M looks like quite happy. I have certain experience dealing with individuals such as him.
Hmm.
Regardless, this silver tongue, it seems like a place that is very worth investigating.
Hmm.
This is out of character. Do I know what the silver tongue is?
I'm gonna say only Callahan. Roll intelligence.
Oh no.
Yes.
Oh god, all my intelligence is so bad.
It's getting close to done. You might be able to use your hero point. Or just roll a
Or
nat
just
20.
roll a nat 20.
Oh yeah, let's go, boys. My
Right.
intelligence, my throbbing brain. Let's go.
Callahan, you realize as you hear it again, the silver tongue. You've heard it. Once you started to once you got into town and you started speaking with the criminal part of town, there is a place where if you want to sell stuff that probably you didn't acquire in the most legal of means, there is a place in the Seven Rocks that goes by the nickname of the Silver Tongue, and you know that it is a fencing place. It is a hidden place. You don't know where it is, but you know that it is where. Well, it is a fence. It is a fence, and a lot of everyone that wants to sell their stuff usually goes to the Silver Tongue. The Silver Tongue is actually not the name of the place; it's actually the name of the owner.
Hmm.
And
I relay
yeah.
this.
All right, you relay this.
I see. As expected of Callahan, such useful information.
Yeah, well, you know, you got to know these sort of things to, get around and to communicate and to best utilize resources. That's another name of the game. Take this down: utilization.
Utilization.
YUT. I don't know, something. I mumble the rest.
Yes, you're showing your 8 intelligence right there.
Yes. This silver tongue, perhaps we can make use of your exceptional skills at finding this information, Callaghan, in order to find this silver tongue and ask where these scrolls or who they were sold to, for perhaps they might be able to lead us to, well,
You're dead right. I hear exactly what you're saying.
excellent. What time of day is it?
Because of all the running around, it seems to be the sun is starting to set.
Perhaps we could rest on this. Callaghan, you mentioned that in the morning you would be able to uncover more information yourself. So
That'll be it, yeah.
in the
All
morning
right.
we can you can find that information and you can help us figure out the nature of this silver tongue.
It'll be my main prerogative. And I look towards the window. I look towards the other guys and I'm like, right, I guess we better be going back. One of us will have to inform the city watch about this door, though.
I was just thinking that, yes.
Ah, yes.
In that case, Kyoho, you're going to do it. Thank you. I am your spiritual advisor once again.
You are?
I am. Maul be with you. And I just kind of do the weird like shimmy out through the window. Do like a blessing while I was like, when you're like saddle riding the windowsill, I'm like, yep, you know how it is.
All right. All right.
Tenuous relationship
So-
with God.
You leave. Kyoho, do you go inform the guards?
Yes, I'll go inform the guards.
Okay, so you go inform the guards, and then I assume you all meet up at the Wounded Soldier for some sleepy times. And
Nothing that was on the butcher guy, was it? No notes or anything like that.
around
I'm
the
not
butcher.
blessing Yeah, like if I would like pat him down, or kind of like eyeball pat him down.
Okay, you go to pat him down, and you do find. Actually, you do find something. You look around, and you find what seems to be a locket. Seems to be in his pocket.
Oh my god.
It's a brass pocket locket. It's not very expensive, but it is very oval shaped. And when you open it, there is just a picture, not a picture, but like a drawing of a young girl. That's about it.
Okay. Seems to me like he was broke. Brilliant. Okay, yeah, I follow everyone else
Okay,
back.
so everyone heads back to the Wounded Soldier, and you all please deduct 5 silver from your pay because you are paying for the stay. So I'm just gonna do it real quick for Damir because he can't do it. And as you settle down to go sleepy by, that is where we're gonna end tonight's session.
Oh.
With knowing more than you knew the previous day, and
Killing
now with a location to head to.
We didn't die again.
And you didn't die.
But we did probably murder an innocent, large-hearted Italian butcher.
We killed a perverted creep show who stalks women. If nothing else,
We didn't kill
we, have,
any.
we didn't kill anyone. Frankie has saved people, in my opinion. He has made the street safer.
Mm-hmm.
the guards are going to come across that dead body when they go to investigate the door, and I did not tell them about the dead body.
Yep.
Oh my god.
Well, it is what it is. So we'll deal with that next session. Likely Tuesday again, because it seems to be a good time for all of us.
Yep.
And I want to thank everyone that stuck around. I want to thank my players. You're all wonderful, and it was a lot of fun. And really loving how the story is going. And I hope you enjoyed yourself as well.
So,
I had a
And
lot of fun sitting around for an hour, not doing anything, waiting for my half of the party to happen.
well, to be fair, the other half of the party also sat around for an hour, not doing anything, waiting for their half of the party to happen.
Yeah.
Also, don't look at me, because you're the ones that decided to split the party. So,
look, okay,
Yeah,
character, it makes sense because we're wanting to get it done as quickly as possible.
of course.
yeah. Although we hit like the possibility of trouble, and I went unsplit the party.
Yeah. Also, there's also. I was worried about the explosion that might have happened if that cliff of warding happened, and just the two of you were there.
So what was that? Was that actually like? Would that have been like a divine thing, or because I missed that first hour? So was that like? Did y'all hear someone where like the glyph of warding says "Don't do it"?
No,
Which
no,
is fairly,
you're
fairly counterintuitive of the glyph of warden.
yeah. It was odd. Callahan. Well,
Boys, I got my Yakuza guardian angel.
yeah. You did feel that it was a small hand that pulled you, and a very young voice that said that. But when you looked, there was nothing, and you can come up with whatever explanation you want for it.
Oh, class. All right, boys.
All right.
We're winning this one.
So
Thank you so much, by the way, Ran.
Mhm.
Love the
Well,
session.
no,
It was a lot of fun. Yeah.
no worries. I am going to raid someone real quick. This is a person that does have a lot of people watching compared to me, but I do like her. She's a sweetheart. She's playing Monster Prom, which is an amazing, hilarious game.
Oh, I
class
love
game.
Monster.
Yeah. So we're gonna be raiding Cinnamon Succubus. Despite the name, she is super sweet.
I don't know. Cinnamon's kind of sweet.
Yeah,
I
well.
love cinnamon. And I love
that's-
succubuses.
Okay. So I do have a raid message. If you have a sub, you can also use this. Shit. I don't know if that worked. Let's see. Let me try. Yeah, it worked because I have a new raid token. So, yeah. Join the raid. You'll get points. Maybe to get more hero points, like if you need them for next session, and it's always helpful. And
I halved some damage with mine today.
yeah, well, there you go. But yeah, thank you so much for the session, and I'll see you all.
Thank you.
Well, next session. Yeah.
Yeah, thank you.
Bye.
Bye.